Coming up on this edition of Real to Real, we spotlight the great things happening around our school district.
And we take you inside of our classroom and update you on what we have been up to.
That's right. All this and more coming up on this edition of Real to Real.
Welcome into the latest edition of Real to Real, only on Lubbock ISD TV. I am Justin Perez, a junior from Monterey High School.
And I'm Ezekiel Mata, a junior from Monterey High School. We start out today's show giving you an update on what we have done in class back in early November. Mr. Ward became a picky client and had his students film and edit a new Lubbock ISD TV commercials that you can watch on the special Thanksgiving edition and during the commercials breaks of this episode of Real to Real.
On top of this, a few weeks back, Lubbock ISD TV took 17 students on a trip to the DFW area in Abilene to look at some colleges and television studios. These students were able to tour the University of North Texas, the Cowboy Channel, and Abilene Christian University. Our Taylor Reed has a recap of the trip.
We were up bright and early at 7 a.m. and were already on the move to the great city of Denton, as we went to go tour the University of North Texas and their studio, which they were kind enough to let us look through. After that, we headed over to Cowboy Channel, as they let us tour what used to be an old show barn, but is now the great radio station that they use every day.
Can I help you with? Yes, ma'am.
How many years have you been doing like cattle?
I got my first radio job. I'm 62 years old. I got my first radio job when I was 17.
After that, we got to see ourselves around the stockyards, as we got to watch them do a show with all the Longhorns, and then go and look around for a bit. We even found ourselves a merry-go-round, as we had fun with that. There were plenty of places to look through, and even some sweet spots, as we ventured throughout the stockyards while we waited to head to our hotel. On the way there, we did get a little turned around and found ourselves in Fort Worth. But the views were amazing, and it was definitely a sight to see, and shows you how beautiful the DFW area really is.
And internet.
Once we got back on track, we found ourselves a place to eat, and then got some good sleep, before heading over to the famous Globe Life Park the next morning. Globe Life Park is the new stadium for the Texas Rangers, and as you can see, it is truly a wonder. As we got to tour the mighty stadium, we got to see all the little aspects that truly make it unique.
The architect's tribute to the ballpark across the street. There are a couple others, or maybe 2 or 3 more.
And truly still tie it back to the old stadium across the street.
Nolan Ryan is raising his cap to the crowd, accepting their applause because he just accomplished his 5,000th strikeout.
And even across the way, you could see the wonderful AT&T Stadium where the Dallas Cowboys play. After that, we decided to head out and started making our way over to Abilene, where we were able to tour Abilene Christian University. We got to talk to some truly amazing people as they gave us their insight on what it was like going to Abilene Christian and working in the business. And in the end, we got to end our day by watching the Abilene Christian studio in action as they broadcasted their very first basketball game of the year.
Great job, Taylor. Now let's move on to what we are doing right now. Mr. Ward has challenged us to participate in the Skills USA Mock TV Video Production Competition. This is one of the 2 competitions that we will take part in when we compete in the Skills USA. This competition features groups of 2, and we have been challenged to spotlight different career opportunities classes here at the Byron Martin ATC. So be on the lookout for those awesome videos on Lubbock ISD TV.
And on top of this, we have taken to the air here at the TV station as we are actively working on flying drones. Mr. Ward and Mr. Edgar want us to master the ins and outs of flying one of the hardest drones. Before we try to get our certification later on in the school year.
So you've heard what we've done and what we're doing, but what is next? Well, we previewed it on the last show, and here's what we will be doing. Yes, we will be smashing rotten pumpkins that students customize in our Halloween game show. Of course, we are going to be doing this on camera, telling people to not be rotten this holiday season. Like these pumpkins, and the video that you see is from last year, so be on the lookout for our video coming in the next coming weeks, only on Lubbock ISD TV.
I'm looking forward to that. Now, looking at your calendar, there are some important dates that you need to know for Lubbock ISD TV. Coming up, we have our fantastic Thanksgiving break that will run from November 22nd through the 26th. And then, just a few weeks later, Christmas break is underway, as secondary students will have an early dismissal on the 16th. And then, every student in Lubbock ISD will have an early dismissal on the 17th. And students will not return back to school until January the 4th. For complete details on the calendar, go to lubbockisd.org.
And finally, before we go to break, we have some exciting news in regards to the Student Television Network convention. Recently, Lubbock ISD TV has announced the STN team that will be competing and expanding their creativeness beyond the area. When they attend the Limitless Convention down in Long Beach, California on February 18th through the 21st, there are 17 members on the team that will participate in this. But we want to give a special shout out to 3 of our classmates, Gabe, Taylor, and Omar, who will be attending the great event.
That is too cool. And still to come on Road to Real, we introduce you to our new Executive Director of Career and Technical Education for Lubbock ISD.
But first, we go around the district and show you all the great things happening in Lubbock ISD.
You won't want to miss that. Next on Road to Real.
An anchor has to trust their floor director. And so our team has been working hard on their trust. Trust fall.
Oh, got you there.
Oh, thank you. Trust fall.
Oh, hey. Trust fall. Oh, dude, why didn't you catch me?
Sorry, man. Anchors only.
We really leave it up to the students to kind of drive their own projects the way that they want to, whether it's a podcast talking about whatever issues or topics or hobbies that they feel like, or if you're making short films, making commercials, what is it that you enjoy, that you like? And we kind of let students have their own creativity in those ways that they can kind of do what they're excited about.
They say in brainstorming, there are no bad ideas. Not actually true.
All right, no pressure, but if you mispunch a button, you mess up the entire show.
Oh, yes. Great shot. All right, stand by, take package.
Okay, but if you miss this one, the anchors will be out there stranded.
Boom. Package is in.
Yep, it takes a lot to rattle our guys.
Welcome back to Real to Real, only on Lubbock ISD TV. Moments ago, we showed you what we have been doing here at Lubbock ISD TV. But outside of the walls of the ATC, there are tons of great things happening around our district.
That's right, JP. Recently, we got to honor all the great men and women that have served our country on Veterans Day over at Wolfforth Elementary. The Wildcats sang a special song to observe the day. Take a look.
Thank you, veterans, for letting us be safe and keeping our country safe as possible and letting us be in this glorious freedom that we are in today. Thank you, veterans.
That's cool. I actually got the goosebumps watching that.
I did too. Now, we have some big news for our school district. Not long ago, Talkington Middle School as well as J.T. Hutchinson Middle School were ranked 1 and 2 in the Lubbock area. For best middle schools, Talkington was also ranked the #1 high school in the Lubbock area and was ranked number 26 in the high school nationally. They were ranked 165th best high school in the country. They both also received recognition on U.S. News and World Report. Congratulations to both Hutchinson Middle School and Talkington Middle School and High School for young women leaders for these prestigious awards.
And more news out of our school district. Lubbock ISD welcomed 2 new officers to its police department. As you see here, Chief Ray Mendoza swore in Michael Garcia and Dave Smith during a pinning ceremony at the Lubbock ISD Police Department. We want to say to our new officers, welcome to the Lubbock ISD family.
In other news, the Byron Martin ATC had a pleasant surprise when the McGavick Nissan dealership here in town gifted them a fairly new car. Take a look at this 2018 Nissan Altima. McGavick said that they were going to crush the car because of bad roof that was installed on it. But instead of crushing it, they wanted to give it to our students so they can improve their automotive skills. Thanks again to the McGavick Nissan dealership.
Checking in on sports in Lubbock ISD, the Coronado Mustangs are now by-district champs and are still pushing towards state. Coach Mann in his first season finished the regular season 6-4 and were tri-district champs. Coach Mann and the rest of the staff's message to the team is to get back to work. Basketball is now in full force as all high schools in town have kicked off their seasons. With the basketball season starting, we are about to hit the ground running on our basketball broadcast. Be on the lookout soon for our release schedule.
No doubt, we look forward to the jump from the gridiron to the hardwood.
Yes, we do. And still, to come on this edition of Real to Real, we hear from Mr. Ward as he has his second rendition of Keeping It Real.
But first, JP is going to switch sets and interview our new executive director of the CTE for Lubbock ISD.
That's right. So stay with us right here on Real to Real, only on Lubbock ISD TV.
I asked Zach how he's so good at seeing all the cues from the floor director. He says it's all about peripheral vision. That's why he is constantly working to strengthen his.
KZ, VDC, VSHZOK, HDK, CRZ.
It's truly impressive how good he is.
Best of luck to you next school year. Sign Zach.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. This is so cool.
No problem. You should come for a newscast next time.
Our students are intense about TV. Sometimes, maybe a little too intense. And so we hired a psychologist to keep an eye on them.
And what about this one? That looks like a mirrorless camera on autofocus. Why is it on autofocus? Okay, and what about this one? That looks like a jib on the track, going from left to right. That looks like a chicken. Good. Actually, that looks like a boom mic. It's a little too close to the actor though. I think it's gonna get in the shot.
You know what? I think we're gonna be just fine.
Man, my goal with the students, really our whole role here is to get these guys ready to enter the workforce. They may go into construction, they may not, but really our goal is to give them some, not just the technical abilities to do the kind of jobs that we promote, but also just to give them some life skills, how to show up on time, how to be a hard worker with a great work ethic.
I mean, I had no idea that I'd get it to where I am right now. I figured, I just learned a little bit here or there and go from there, but it's definitely turned into something that I could easily see in my future.
One of the great things about having high school students a part of your team is that you can really push them. And unlike some of the older teachers, these young students seem to really like it.
Coming up on this edition of Real to Real.
No.
Okay. Coming up on this edition of Real to Real.
No!
Coming up on this edition of Real to Real.
No, you're gonna have to read it a little faster.
Okay, I get it, but this is a little much, man.
Welcome back to Real to Real, only on Lubbock ISD TV. Back on November 11th at the school board meeting, Lubbock ISD announced that we have a new executive director of career and technical education for Lubbock ISD. And today, kindly joining us in the studio is a new executive director, Amy Baker. Amy, I just want to thank you so much for coming today, but I got a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
What has it been like since you started? I know that your schedule has been jam-packed.
It's actually been amazing. I love being part of Lubbock ISD. I love seeing you guys doing what you're doing in all of your programs. I love seeing things from middle school, high school, and what we have to offer here at the ATC. It's been incredible.
Yes, ma'am. It's a lot of stuff here. But can you speak on your journey on here, like to get to Lubbock ISD?
Well, I actually started as a CTE student back in high school. So I've been a part of career and technical education my whole life. I started my career as a marketing teacher, and then I went on to work as an administrator. And I have a huge passion for working with career and technical programs and for helping people like you get ready for the real world after you graduate.
It's a pretty good story. The other day we ran into you here in the hallways of the ATC, and we were going on a tour. What do you think about this place and like on all of our amazing programs?
I wish every parent and every student in Lubbock ISD understood what career and technical education meant and how it could be a part of their future and a part of their goals. I just want to shout it on the rooftops and tell everyone about all the incredible things that are happening here and the way that it can really change your life and set you up for a high wage, high skill, high demand job in the future.
Pretty nice. But well, our teacher was doing some homework, trying to help us get some new questions for the interview. And he found out that you organized an energetic leader. Was his research, is that correct?
That what?
That he found out that you are an organized, energetic leader.
I love being organized. I love getting a lot of things done, and I definitely hope I'm energetic because I think we have a lot going on in our world right now, and this is really a special part of it, that career and technical education is how we can move forward and have a positive future and a positive outcome. And I want everyone to know how proud I am of you guys and of your teachers and of all that's happening in the district.
Well, we thank you for that. But I know that you have only been here for a little bit, but do you have any things that you want to implement?
I think we're going to start slow. We're going to just stand back and watch and observe all the incredible things that are happening. But I just want teachers to know that I'm a support here for them. Love working with curriculum. I love working with supplies and resources and making sure that we have everything in our classrooms that we need to help be successful.
Well, Mrs. Baker, I want to thank you so much for coming by and giving us some of your time. I know that you are a busy person, and so we're super thankful, but I'll go ahead and just send it back to the desk.
Got it. Thanks.
Thank you so much, JP and Ms. Baker. And still to come on this edition of Real to Real, we'll hear Mr. Ward's second edition of Keeping It Real, as he talks about our commitment to broadcasting Lubbock ISD football games. You won't want to miss that next on Real to Real.
Our team is just different. Every aspect of every show is very important to them, even the promotions.
Alright guys, so y'all know that our next game show is Turn Back the Clock, so that means we're going to the 70s. Let's go through the line, make sure we meet standards. Great job.
Yes, ma'am.
What are you supposed to be?
Sorry, I thought it was 1870s.
Being on a newscast can be like a real pressure cooker. That's why we condition the team to be absolutely fearless.
Hey man, are you ready to go?
Yes, sir, I'm loose and ready to go.
All right, that's good. Oh, and I forgot to tell you something. The teleprompter crashed, and so you're doing the show solo on a paper script.
Like the actual show? Like with no prompter? All right, let me go. Oh, let's go. The prompter's on.
1, 2, 3.
Welcome into the latest edition of Reel to Reel.
This is a modern and progressive way of learning.
Now or never.
Welcome back to Reel, only on Lubbock ISD TV. This past month, we finished out our coverage of Lubbock ISD football games. This season, we did an impressive 22 football games and 3 volleyball games. And I want to rave about our students. We had tremendous buy-in from our students. We averaged nearly a dozen students a game showing up to work. And for one game that we did, we had 22 students come out and work. Our station's goal for the year was to have 100% student-led production by the middle of October. We achieved that goal in mid-September. On top of that, we launched a new part of our game day coverage with me calling the plays and a student as a color analyst. In fact, we had 8 different students join me in the booth throughout the season. And simply stated, it was awesome. I got to see tremendous growth from our students on air, and I can't rave enough about the talent that we have here at the station. Truly, my teacher's heart was so happy every Thursday and Friday night as we, Lubbock ISD TV, shine bright under the lights at Lowry Field. Now that's me, Mr. Ward, keeping it real on Reel to Reel on Lubbock ISD TV. I'll send it to you two at the desk.
Thanks, Mr. Ward. I had a lot of fun being one of the 8 students to join you in the booth this season.
You did a great job on those broadcasts, JP. Now, sadly, that's going to do it for our edition of Reel to Reel.
And on behalf of the crew, we want to thank you so much for tuning in to the latest edition of Reel to Reel.
We look forward to seeing you back here real soon. But until then, we hope you stay safe stay happy, and stay healthy.
This has been a production of the students and staff at Lubbock ISD TV.